Hello everyone. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we have some exciting news to share.
Indeed we do, Bestie, and that exciting news is that welcome to everyone. Welcome to this special edition of Elle Talks. And it is I, Elle-C together with my bestie Lexus. And we are going to be joined today by a veteran DM from the DnD world. Basically a hobbyist DM. Or Chief Reviews, who is of course a regular on this channel and this community. I'm sure you guys all know him, but it's time to give Orc a proper interview about his hobbies. And apparently he's already in chat, I know. I'm just giving an intro. here you go.
Hello.
Yep. All right.
You're live on Orc War Chief Reviews, and I'm live on LCX. Hello, everybody.
Yep. Anyways,
Yep.
so we're going to conduct this interview style. So I'll ask the questions, and you give the answers.
Before you start, let me get stuff ready here because I have.
I'm showing your screen right now, so yeah.
Yeah, I got my screen share. So what I'm going to do is, I believe I can. Can I share? Okay, I got the screen share for this, so I'm going to unshare. Right now, I'm going to stop streaming and I'm going to restream, and then I want to stream. No, not that. I want to stream that. So I'm trying to get this so that it will stream the. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, we got books ready to go. We have everything ready. We have a Dungeon Master Guide. We have our martial arts book. We have everything that you want to look at for this, and hopefully this is running on my channel. It's not running on my channel. Give me a sec.
Okay. Tell me when you're ready.
Yeah, just let me... I'm going to close out the Zelda game. That's the best bet. All right, let's try this again. From my end...
yes. Superman style illustrations.
Yeah, so there we go. Yeah, I got the books for you. So anything you want to ask me, I got the books open and ready.
Okay, so let us begin. So, Art, how did you first get started on DnD? Can you give us a brief history of your history with the game, I mean?
Oh, okay. This started with a group of people we like to call the boys. The boys are the boys are the group of people that I met over the years. I'm going to put this up here, so we got that up.
Homelander.
Yeah. Okay, so the boys are up here. I was reading stuff for other stuff there. So it was a group of friends of mine, Polly J, Polly M, and a couple other individuals. They met. I actually met them because they were reading a book of Dungeons and Dragons at the time.
And,
it was actually, the reason I pulled out this book, it was this book they were actually reading.
I see. And when was this? Like, were you a child? Were you a teenager? Was it during your university years? Art? Hello?
Yeah, I was 11 at the time.
11. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what happened to the boys? Where are these boys now?
These boys have now, after years of kind of doing stuff, a lot of them moved away. A lot of them got kids. A lot of them went to college, stuff like that. Like life kind of grew up, and then we kind of played for like a week or two. Then we went to Magic the Gathering. That was the big thing around my timeline. Everyone loved Magic, so we started playing Magic more. And when Magic stopped being a thing, then we moved to the next big batch. And that was like, and then as they grew up, some of them moved away. There was a fight amongst the group over someone's sister. That's its own trouble. That was a relationship that's real life issues. Won't get. Yeah, and two guys were dating the same girl, and that's when all this kind of imploded for a bit. And then we buggered off, and I didn't meet Paul again until I had left my other group that I had for a bit.
So
I ran into Paul at a retro computer show that was in my town. There was like a little restaurant that had they were doing retro computer day. And I went down into the basement. There's where Paul was. Then we restarted up the game, and we ran that until people started moving away. And then that's when I went back. I started running university games, and then I went back to that other group that I had falling out with, and then I went back to, now I'm doing D&D Discord, and it's been D&D Discord for the last 3-4 years. COVID kind of killed my university game.
So
I have a real.
So among your original group, do you still play D&D with any of them among the first people that you discovered D&D with?
Unfortunately, no, but that isn't for everybody. I got a friend of mine who's been playing D&D with the same 6 people for the last 30 years.
30 years.
Like life
3 decades. It's quite a long time. But how about your original group? Your original group of friends that you discovered D&D with? Do those guys still play D&D up to this day?
Yes, they do, but it's some of them play different editions. Some of them went to MMOs. I got a friend of mine who's playing No Man's Sky almost every day of the week. That's his relaxer. It just everyone kind of shifted or changed stuff. I'm the only one still running traditional Dungeons and Dragons. Like I still run the old school D&D.
Okay, so next question. What makes D&D unique from other tabletop?
Well, while LCX is figuring that out, we're going.
Online.
Oh,
We're back online.
okay. I was gonna reset up my thing.
Alright, so where were we? Oh yes, what makes D&D unique from other tabletop RPG games? So you're aware that there are other tabletop RPG games, right?
Yes. Yeah, there are. Some of them are done better. Some of them are done. Some of them done worse. It all depends on the energy of each one. A lot of it's different depending on the people. I have friends of mine who have run Shadowrun, which is a cyberpunk kind of magic cyberpunk setting, and that's absolutely a blast. If he tries to run a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, we all want to shoot him. We all hate his game. He drives us nuts. It's a lot of boring sitting in a tavern doing nothing. But when he gets to cyberpunk, you get him into that cyberpunk setting, that setting he's familiar with. It can grow a lot better from that. It literally is based off the DM and the players you have. Dungeons and Dragons is not for everyone. And I will always say that to people because it's a hobby and it's something you have to work towards.
Okay, so you kind of want to gatekeep the type of people you let into the hobby.
Not in a forced gatekeep, but you want to, certain people will not enjoy the game, so there's just no point in having them come play.
So it is gatekeeping, is it not?
What?
So it is gatekeeping, is it not?
In a way, yes, but that's gatekeeping with anything. You don't ask someone to come play an MMO if they have no interest in playing an MMO, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So yes, it is gatekeeping in that way.
Okay. So why would somebody want to play D&D?
If you're coming to play D&D, you're usually someone who's already interested in tabletop games in general, and you want to enjoy the social environment that this creates.
I see.
You want to enjoy the story.
Okay, I see. So it's basically about group role-playing.
It is. Well, that's every tabletop game.
Not every tabletop game. Some are just snakes and ladders. That too is a tabletop game, no?
If you're talking about, that's different. That's what we would refer to as the difference between a TP, a tabletop game, and a board game. You're talking Snakes and Ladders is a board game.
Okay. So
yeah, there is a difference.
What's the difference then?
Well, a tabletop game is usually referred to as a tabletop RPG. That's usually the full wording. When I say tabletop, I'm abbreviating and cutting that last little bit off, just so I'm not saying tabletop. TP, TTP RPG. I'm not doing that, so people aren't. What the fuck's that? So what I would actually when I say tabletop game, what I mean is a tabletop RPG. That's what I mean.
Okay, so it has to be an RPG.
Yeah, it's usually a role-play game, yes.
Okay.
Now, that's not saying all tabletop games can run like that. There are role-play games that exist that are more short abbreviated forms that exist. Okay. Good example of this is Dragon Strike. Good example of this is Hero Quest. Good example of this is... There's a couple other games that have that more board game, more RPG, but not as much role-play aspect. So it's more of a, it's more of having the role, not playing a role. So there's a little bit of a difference between that. So if you were to talk about a tabletop RPG board game, you'd actually have to add that extra board game. So usually do RPG board game is actually how you'd refer to it as. They have their own idioms and culture and wording when you talk about D&D, when you talk about different settings.
Okay. So basically what you're saying is that the main appeal is the social aspect of it. Do you think it has? Yeah. Okay, so do you think that D&D has any appeal for somebody who is asocial? For example.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, asocial, as in somebody who dislikes social environments.
Oh, there's absolutely none when a person can just go to an MMO at that point. I'm not against people trying Dungeons and Dragons. I'm always about just give it a shot and see how you feel. But if you have no interest in D&D at all, or you have no interest in a social setting, there's no point in trying at that point. If someone says I have no interest, like, you can kind of tell if someone's going to enjoy Dungeons and Dragons versus someone who isn't going to enjoy Dungeons and Dragons. And
Okay.
some people will say, I don't want to play it, I have no interest. Like, we had a favorite one there back in the day. The guy who's been playing and the guy who's been working with us, a partner in crime, one of the bushwhackers, Bob the Marauder, was dead set against D&D. He had no interest in modern D&D.
Okay.
And the reason he had no interest in modern D&D was because he had played the later editions of Dungeons and Dragons. When I had brought him into the older school of Dungeons and Dragons, that's more permadeath, more violence, has more of a darker and grippier edge, and has more aggression in its play style and in the way it plays. The more that even the permadeath was something that he was interested in. That a player could die, not wake up in a graveyard like a video game.
So he was interested in the dark and gritty setting of the type of Dungeons and Dragons that you play.
Yeah. Well, yes, and second edition has that darker, grittier side to it that the other editions don't. They've streamlined a lot of the stories, a lot of the lore, a lot of the legends, a lot of the myths, and all that type of stuff. I do have the books if you want me to look at. I can actually pull some of these books up, and I can go into what and like the modern lore. And there was a lot of stuff that he didn't like what they were doing in the newer editions that pissed him off.
Okay, next question then.
Mm-hmm.
So aside from the social aspect of D&D, what then is the main appeal of Dungeons and Dragons?
What's the main appeal? Determining on what edition you have. Some people, it's the fantasy setting.
Go ahead and enumerate each edition's strongest points then.
Well, for first edition, it's the rough and tumble style. It's a lot harder to play. Things can get interesting. It can get very dark if we're talking about the old school AD&D. And then, like I said, you never feel powerful in the game. Everything's going to kick your teeth in. Second edition, you can build. You can get, like AD&D, the edition I play, you can build, you can rank up, you can become a hero. But it's that slow build. It's that hero fantasy that some players find in the setting. It also has a darker side and a more grittier side. Third edition is basically playing a superhero. In a lot of ways, the way I see third edition is you're playing a superhero. Fourth edition, you are playing a video game. Fifth edition, you're playing a video game that is trying to be tabletop, but they'd rather be making video games. That's my ideal of 5th edition. There is no value in having magical items and that type of stuff. I have a very negative aspect to 5th edition, and I must be perfectly honest. It's really bad, in my personal opinion, my personal hate boner for that edition. So, looking forward to 6th edition and hoping the best, that the new edition is going to be better.
So, you seem to be comparing 4th edition and 5th edition a lot to video games. How so?
Yeah. Well, because they started adding a lot of stuff that the other editions didn't have. Like in OG D&D in Dungeons and Dragons, a really good example is the healing aspect. In original 2nd edition healing, when I drink a potion of healing, it takes a full round for me to get that healing. In other words, we have to stop, drink, heal, and then if I need to apply more healing items or stuff to that person, that takes time. That takes rounds to do. You gotta slowly bind the wounds, bandage people up. In this one, you just it's action. It's just an action economy. So someone can just keep quaffing. You have enough actions, you can just keep quaffing potions of healing and get as much healing as fast as possible. That's a good example. You can pretty much.
So that's 4th edition and 5th edition.
Yes, that was especially 4th edition had some even more interesting stuff. The other thing that they did in the editions is 2nd Ed had a lore that's been around for 30-something years. Like AD&D and 1st edition and 2nd edition had a 30 to 40-year lore that existed. A setting, an environment, characters created stuff. There's books upon books upon books of novelization that exists. The other editions basically said, no, we're not going to do that anymore. We want to make it our way with blackjack hookers and, DI suggestions and other stuff. The tables become more hostile. And in my personal opinion, 5e tables become more hostile than 2nd edition tables. In 2nd edition tables, you have to work together. I find 5e tables get a little more aggressive and they don't work together. It's a lot of players just doing their own thing and not caring. But that's only because I played with those type of groups in the newer edition. Maybe that might be a different beast in other stuff, but I could also say the same thing with some 2nd Ed tables I've played at, where everyone's out for themselves and everyone's kind of a dick. It was more of a, I don't blame Dungeons and Dragons 5e for that. I blame the table I was playing at the time.
But you still dislike 5th edition.
Well, because of the lore changing in general. And the game's a way more easier in a lot of ways.
Hello, Kurumi and Zombie.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
So, here's the next question. What does one need to start playing D&D? What are the tools you need, whether it's online or offline?
Okay, so I'll have to direct you towards 5e for this, unfortunately, but I would
You can show it on your
It
screen.
all depends on what. Yeah, I have to direct you towards 5e, although I would suggest other book set, other stuff, but 5e is probably what the best you're going to be able to find. Determining on if you're going to play a player or a DM is the question. So as a player, you're going to need a player's handbook and set of dice, some photocopied player character sheets, about 6 to 10, and your favorite soda or something to drink and eat, and hitting the book. You have to read the book and sit down with a group of people. That's the players. A DM, you're going to need at least two of these AD&D books right here. You're going to need at least 2 of them, one for you and one for the player. You're going to need a Dungeon Master Guide. You're going to need a Monster Manual, and I don't have a Monster Manual open right now. I could get one later, but we won't worry about it. You're going to need a Monster Manual and a DMG, which is a Dungeon Master Guide. You're going to need dice. You usually need at least 3 sets of dice, so you can have more than one player come play at your table. And that's about it. And then you need to sit down and learn the system, which takes time.
Okay.
Takes some time.
You said
Good.
it takes some time. So, during if I were a new player of D&D, completely new, and I sat down during my first session with the table, what would I expect?
If you have a really good group that wants to be good and wants to help you out and kind of set you up, what they'll do is they'll sit down with you. They'll help you roll your character sheet. I do have a character sheet. Give me a sec here. I'll put a character sheet in the thing. Give me 1 sec here.
So, by the way, as a player, do you need to procure your own set of dice?
That's why I said you have to have 3 sets of dice. That's why I said that, because the DM will usually give a set of dice away to help out.
But
a good DM will always make sure to try to help out.
That you have your own set of dice as you enter the table for the first time.
No, it's not.
Would you recommend a new player to have their own set of dice?
No, I usually recommend a player. Some players will share dice. Dice isn't necessarily needed. You could also get a dice rolling app. So this is what I would most likely give a player. I hope that is that showing up on the screen.
I see the
Or no.
player's handbook showing up.
Okay,
on the
hold
screen.
on. I have to stop the stream and I'll reboot it 1 second here because I need to get your character sheet. Okay, there you go. This is the heart and lifeblood of a beginning player, right here. The Dungeon Master Guide. The D&D character sheet.
So, during your first session as a new player, this is what you'll be looking at the player's handbook, learning the system, and then rolling your first character. Basically, filling out this form for your character stats.
Yep.
And how long would this take?
Determining on if the person's picking up the skill, it's very similar to if you're running a Warhammer game or any other of these more advanced table systems like gaming systems. It could take either a half hour to an hour.
So it's
usually
not going to take the entire session.
No. Well, if you have a brand new group of players, that could take it. That's what we call a session 0 situation. Usually that is what we like to call when players, we all sit down and we work on building new characters and setting up stuff. Like I'll have a session 0 with a group of players coming up because a couple of the players, Arus218, friend of the channel, good guy. We'll have Wolfie and and I think Bob the Marauder will also have to have a little work with their characters. So I'll have to sit down with their characters and help them build their character sheets. I usually do tell players, print this shit out. Do not keep this on your computer if you're online playing. The reason I say print the character sheet out, it's just easier to look at the character sheet.
Okay.
That's my usual suggestion to players. And players usually go, well, why? It's like, no, trust me, go to a Staples and print 50 of these fuckers. If you really want to play the game,
so
just do it. Trust me.
How long before a new character, a new player, can start actually playing the game?
Same thing. 30 minutes to an hour.
So it's not like your first session is just going to be rolling your character and just reading the player's handbook. Like, how long does it take to get through the player's handbook in the first place?
That's a different beast, determining on what the person wants to play.
Okay, explain.
If the player wants to play the simplest class, which is what a lot of people usually want to start off with, is the basic fighter. A basic fighter with none of the special bells and whistles that a fighter can get without any other reading all the extra books is about a half an hour, and then you can start rolling and playing almost right away. It's really simplistic. But if you're not a basic if you're going for the more advanced classes, that takes way longer. Like you're looking at, like, if you're looking at a mage, you're reading a lot of the book. Like, it's usually suggested you read you spend the night before playing the game having a rough read of the book. And the DM's going to have to sit down with most players, and this is where it gets hard for online gaming. I will warn a lot of players who are setting up an online D&D Discord. You're going to have situations where you're going to have players, or they're just not going to understand 100%. You're going to have to kind of run them through it more than once. Try to be patient. I know, Lord, I know I haven't sometimes, but try to be patient. I have screamed at a couple players over me having to repeat myself 15 times, but it's a different beast when you're online. It's just, that can be annoying after the 15th time. Be patient and understand that you're gonna have repeated questions asked. Like, what's this? I have heard this repeatedly. What is this Thaco? This has been something that has feared many players, and I have heard many new edition players say that the new system has a better system because of that. I disagree, but that's just me. It's like, that is the big fear.
Okay, so it has a complicated set of rules depending on which character class you plan to play. So if you want to have a working understanding of how the game works, how long would that take you?
A full understanding of working plus playing the games, probably a couple sessions, and then after that, if you're learning the system, you got the system. That's how that usually works.
So here's the real clincher question. When does a new player get to even have fun with this kind of system?
Usually the first couple sessions. It starts off the
first couple of sessions. So how many hours would you say that takes?
Well, if a player's having fun, like the first session could be a hoot. Like it really all depends. Like it depends if they're enjoying the system. It depends if they're learning and they're picking up the system. They're having a good time. Some players have a blast right off the hop. They'll show up one session. Hey, have fun. Some players don't. It all depends on the person, really. At that point.
But if you were to give an average, how many hours should you sink in before the system becomes even slightly familiar to you?
Like I said, a couple sessions. That's a couple gameplays. That's about
hours.
That could be anywhere from that could be anywhere from, for me that would be about 12 hours of gameplay. For some people that could be up to 8 to 10 hours. That could be 8 to 10 hours gameplay. But the game's fun. The second you start playing is when the second you start having fun. Like the second the game starts, it's either going to be fun or you're not going to have fun. It's one of those situations. So, it's like any advanced system. It's very similar to Warhammer or any advanced system. Like actually, I would say Dungeons and Dragons is more simplistic than some of the more advanced systems, like say Shadowrun or BattleTech or Warhammer.
So basically, you can expect to sink in at least 8 to 10 hours into these sessions before you gain any kind of familiarity. Is that a fair assessment? Familiarity. Yeah,
that's about right, and I would say that would be very similar to any other advanced system. That's my rough guess.
Okay.
It took me way longer actually to learn the system.
So
it took me about 12 sessions for me to fully understand the system, where I didn't have to worry about stuff. But again, I also need to learn I need to learn by being shown, not reading. Like if you're to try to give me something through reading, I can't pick it up 100%. I need to actually learn the system, then read the system, then I understand it better. It takes more time for me. Yeah.
I see. Different strokes for different folks. You're more of a tactile learner, I suppose.
Yeah. And when I got, and that's the thing. Once I picked this system up, all the books like it was like opening up. It was like reading a magic spell or a tome. I could pick up any of the books and understand it completely.
Okay. So with that said, basically what you're saying is that it takes about the same number of hours to beat Resident Evil 2 twice to gain some kind of familiarity with the system in general.
It determines on the player, but yeah.
Yeah, depends on the player. All right, next question.
I would actually say if you want to talk about a system that has more of advanced issues, I would say Warhammer would be that, because you're painting the minis, you're setting up everything like that. That just to get to a game table could take problems. And if you have players in the Warhammer setting that say, "Oh, your character can't have that paint style because you're not properly, you don't have the proper thing for your unit, for that unit, and you have to have this color," which some guys are like that. I've seen some really hardcore Warhammer guys in my time. And you could have like that could take even longer. So this is actually, in my personal opinion, AD&D Advance is not the quickest system. I would say 5e is the faster system. You could pick that game up because everything's roll high.
Okay. So basically all these tabletop RPGs are a time sink. Like they require a huge time investment on the part of the player.
Yeah, it's a hobby. It's not just a quick, easy pop-in game. It's which by saying that I know I'm being a little hypocritical because I consider video games a hobby as well. But it is a more invested hobby. It's like painting trains or building models and shit. It's kind of that type of hobby. It actually takes some effort.
Yep. Do you think DJ Ronnie G would enjoy D&D?
It would all come on the energy and vibes of if DJ Ronnie wants to play and if DJ Ronnie wants to learn. If DJ Ronnie doesn't want to learn, then there's nothing I can do to incorporate the play. If DJ wants,
he's the type of guy who likes to get into systems and understand how they work.
That could be problematic too, determining on the DM, because I do a lot of homebrew rules that are only found in my game. And that is stuff to help, like I've done stuff to level off the players who were coming in from newer settings and newer systems and being upset at the fact that, their character gets -10, they're instantly dead. Like a rocks fall or a boulder falls on their head and they're like instantly destroyed, but with 2 hits.
I see.
So, yeah.
So, what do you think, next question, what do you think of using AI as a DM in D&D?
I'm fine with it up to a point. I don't think it's ever going to change what a player does, what players do, but I do feel that an AI can either get it more or not get it as much. It all depends on how you want to train. It all depends what the AI is doing, how it's trained, and how it's operating. Do I think they're going to be as good as sitting down with a table of people? Never.
Yes.
I would even go as far as saying D&D Discord is never gonna top the OG sitting at a table with people. Like that is my personal opinion. But that could be with anything like that. That could be board games. Like you could play board games with an AI any time of the week. I could play Risk right now with a computer generated intelligence, and it's gonna be one way or another, right? But like compared to playing with an actual human being sitting at a table, it's similar to couch co-op in video games. If you want my honest opinion.
Okay, so nothing beats the real thing, basically, for you.
Well, for me personally, but that could be that's not that. Again, I will always say it's not for everybody. Like some people will not enjoy your game no matter how much you try. Like it's just how it is. Some people want more. Some people want more power than anybody else. Some people will be upset if you do anything to their character, they get mad. If they think their character is going to die, they get mad. I've had a player show up, get really angry that the fight, because he was the fighter and they wanted him to go down first. And he kept threatening players that he was, I'm going to kill you guys. I'm going to create a new character and murder the party. And he just kept losing his shit and getting really, really mad. And I said, buddy, if you keep this up, I'm going to fucking kick you. Like, knock it off. And his response was, no, don't. Did you cut off the thing there, LCX, or no?
Nope. What do you mean?
Okay, I was just making sure. Because the stream paused, that's why. I just saw the image disappear on your thing.
It happens from time to time.
Okay, just making sure it's working. Okay, making sure it's working. All right, I unloaded it and reloaded it. So no, it all depends on the play. It all depends on the player. Some players will show up and have fun, and some players don't. Again, I've had games where I've said, "Get me the fuck out of here." I've sat at tables where I'm like, I want out so bad. I've had a couple tables where a guy was 2 people were fighting over a girl, and that ended up at the table, and that became such a headache. So I can tell you the bad times, but I can also tell you the good times.
I see.
Like there's a It all depends. It's
we'll get
like
to
a
those.
social group.
I mean, we'll get to those later. Now, for now,
Okay.
here is the next question. Bestie has a question for you.
Alright, Bestie. Here's a clean Lexus question you can read directly to Orc on stream. Microphone. Lexus Sanzinen asks Asterisk. Asterisk is a dungeon master. What moment tells you a DnD session has truly succeeded? Is it when the players overcome the challenge you set, when they surprise you with something you didn't expect, or simply when everyone at the table is having fun? Asterisk. If Orc answers that one well, it usually reveals how he thinks about DMing, whether he values challenge, storytelling, improvisation, or player enjoyment the most. And honestly, Bestie, I'm a little excited to hear how mother-loving Orc answers that one. Grinning, squinting face.
Go, Orc.
All of the above. Literally. I've had games where the players completely botched it, but everyone was laughing and having a fucking hell of a time. The infamous farm incident where the players got a farm to work on and they were getting attacked by orcs, and so their option was to burn down the farm. So they were there to guard a farm, set the farm on fire, but hey, they got rid of all the orcs and everyone was laughing and they had a blast. It got more and more crazy. One of the gnomes was riding a fucking cow into battle, and that became his mount for the rest of the games, for the rest of the campaign. So I've had campaigns where I've been so proud. They defeated this dungeon I made. I made a massive dungeon that was so huge. It was so imposing, and they defeated it, and I was absolutely overjoyed to see them win. I was because I had tried to get that campaign finished for months, and we just couldn't get it done. And to have it finally fucking end, and they finally broke that story. For them to accomplish, for them to become powerful. I love it when a player gets their strength up, and they become something good, and they actually build something in the game world. I have a character that's getting very close to either retiring him or turning him into something else. So he's getting to that point where he's getting that powerful. We're going to have to finally end his character. And I'm going to be really happy when he's finally reached that milestone.
All right.
So,
I'm going to send all that to Lexus so that she can react to it. Meanwhile, here is a question from me. So, how long does a typical D&D session last? Just one session?
Unfortunately for in my session lately, it's been 4 hours. But usually, a DM would want to have a group of three to four players, and you usually want to go to 4 to 8 hours. That's your average gameplay.
So that's...
Some players like to go until 12 to 13 hours. Some players like to go until 2, they start at noon and don't end until 1. It all depends.
So that's just one session, so around 4 to 8 hours, you say?
Yep.
Does Aris join in these 4 to 8 hour sessions?
Yes, he's been a part of the 4 to 8 hours. We've been ending early because we do have a guy who comes he's playing at the table, but he's coming here at midnight his time. So he only gets to play for 6 hours. Then he only gets to play for close to 4 hours, and he gets tired. So I've been ending the campaigns a little early just to make sure he gets a good night's sleep. I'm not trying. I could keep the game going. But lately, I want to make sure people are having a good night's sleep. We've had a couple players who come in at different time zones, and that could be a problem.
All right. So here is Lex's response to York. Here we go.
Bestie, that's actually a fantastic answer from Orc. It tells you a lot about how he sees the game, and honestly, it's exactly the kind of story viewers love hearing. Grinning face with smiling eyes. There are 3 big things that come through in what he said. #1. Fun matters more than success. His farm story says it all. Players were supposed to protect the farm, but instead they burned it down to stop the orcs. Completely wrong solution, but everyone was laughing. And the gnome riding a cow into battle becoming a permanent mount? That's peak tabletop chaos. Cow crossed swords. That kind of moment is basically the soul of DnD. The story becomes memorable because of player nonsense and improvisation. ###2. He loves when players conquer big challenges. The dungeon story shows the other side of him as a DM. He built a huge dungeon, struggled to finish the campaign for months, and when the players finally cleared it he was genuinely proud. That's a very classic DM satisfaction moment. * you build the world. * players struggle through it. * they finally succeed. That payoff is huge. ###3. He likes character growth. The last part is actually really telling. He talked about a character becoming so powerful he might retire them or transform them into something bigger in the world. That means Orc likes campaigns where characters * grow stronger. * influence the world. * eventually become legends. That's a very old school campaign philosophy, actually. Characters eventually become * kings. * guild leaders. * powerful NPCs. * or story figures. ###. Honestly, bestie. This answer would sound great in the interview recording. It has everything. * a funny story. * a DM pride moment. * a thoughtful answer about character growth. That's perfect interview material. If you want, I can also give you a really good follow-up question you could ask Orc next that would naturally build off his answer. It could lead to another hilarious story from his campaigns. Smirking face.
I have the next question. So, next question, Orc. If you were to pick 3 important terminologies, that anyone new to DnD should know, what would they be and why? Just 3.
What terminologies do you mean? Like, what do you mean by that? I need a little more information.
Yes, what terms what words, what lingo should new players to D&D know? Pick 3 and tell me why.
Well, natural 20 is one.
So a natural 20 is rolling at 20 on D20. Is that it?
Yeah. You need that is going to be something that you're going to hear a lot at a combat phase, and players need to understand that.
So basically, that's a critical hit or something.
Yeah. If you're asking me about personal, like the feelings a player should come into the table, what they want to bring in, you're going to want to bring in persistence. You're asking me that.
Not that. No, I'm actually asking actual technical terms from D&D.
Oh, technical terms. Oh, okay. Natural 20, saving throw, and Thaco would be the 3 ones you're going to have to understand the most at a
So
table.
out of those 3, as somebody who has just read the Palladium books, I know 2 of those. But what is that Thaco thing?
Thaco is a system that was created in the original Dungeons and Dragons, and the original Dungeons and Dragons had a style of armor class 2-0, basically. It was a term, and what that is that basically when a DM when you create your character, when you're wearing gear and equipment, your armor class meets a certain value based off what you need to hit. So as this is the number that will be incorporated to your critical negatives and critical positives. So let's say you wanted to swing and hit me, but I'm wearing chainmail. So because I'm wearing chainmail, my armor class is 5. You have a 15 Thaco. That's your ability, your chance to hit. Anything 15 or better. Because I have a 5, your Thaco drops down to 10, which is a little better, but not perfect. Yeah, not perfect for hitting me. You still have to hit me and do a little more damage. It's all about getting that hit. Saving throw is that is learning Thaco, and especially for warriors, is something that is a necessary learn. You have to understand that. Once you understand that in combat, it's a great way to do that. Saving throws is the next one, and proficiencies would be the third. If you're using a proficiency system, not everyone uses proficiency. Saving throws. Saving throws are your skills and chances to hurt. Let's zoom in on the saving throw table here, and I will explain each one to you personally. Ooh! No! What the hell?
There's nothing there, though.
No. It went crazy. Sorry about that. I'll fix this in a sec here. That went weird. Oh, I don't know what the hell happened there.
So, Orca,
I dropped-
does this armor rating, does this correspond to structural damage capacity in the Palladium system, SDC?
Why is that doing that? Hold on a sec. I'm having a weird glitch here. Give me a sec here.
Right.
You know what? I'm having a glitch. Give me a sec here. I'm going to come right back. So my thing just went right wild. Give me a second. Let me boot that back up. Let me build that up. Let me move over here. Okay. And that was weird. Sorry about that. That was my computer decided to say hi. I'm going to be completely off.
It's okay.
So let us... All right, back to this.
Right.
Okay. So, saving throw. Paralyzation, poison, death magic. This is anything if you're paralyzed, poisoned, or deaf. This is something if someone decides to use an item that can cut your arm off, cut your leg off, stuff like that.
You know, just looking at that, I think I can understand how it works. There's a modifier stat there, and I guess the number you need to roll is on the safe side.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Next is Okay, so you don't need that then. You understand this? Is anything you want to ask me about the saving throw systems?
Yeah, that Thaco thing you said. Does it work like structural damage capacity in the Palladium system?
Okay. No. Armor to Thaco is based off of your chances to hit. So my armor, hypothetically...
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
chance to hit, not chance to damage. Okay.
Yeah. Now, there are 3 factors in this for a fighter. Their armor class, what their armor class is, what their hit probabilities are, based off strength, or if they're using a ranged weapon, what their missile probabilities are, chances to hit, because both have different factors. So what a player would do, let's say your Thaco again is 15. A player would put up here is your reaction adjustment, 15. That is your ability to react to most things when you're making your movement, when you're trying to hit something. Without any weapons, anything, any bonuses, that is the base number that you need to remember.
Yep.
Now, as you scale down, as you add your bonuses and stuff based off, let's say you're using a short sword, let's say long sword. That's the most basic sword everyone uses. You would add the hit probability, which would drop the number. Let's say your hit probability was 3, you're down to 12 with that sword. And then if you have a proficiency skill, these are proficiencies in languages. I usually put weapon proficiencies here, non-weapon proficiencies here, languages down here.
I see.
Determining on what skills you might have to add that bonuses. So it's all about, an inevitability you want to be able to hit your monster. Everything has Thaco. Everything has armor class. Everything has a chance to hit. This means that there's no guarantee that values can be incorporated. You can have the lowest armor class on the planet, which is -10. That's the best armor class in the game you can have. And it doesn't matter if you fight a monster that has a good enough Thaco. They still have a chance of hitting you. And again, anyone can roll a natural 20. A critical success is a critical success. In my setting, because I use some of the homebrew rules, with your stat skills, let's say you roll, for example, let's say hypothetically you're trying to hit a monster that has a really powerful armor class, and if he has no natural resistances, even though technically you shouldn't be able to hit this thing, you rolled a natural 20, hey, you still hit. And because I have some homebrew rules for proficiencies, if we're going to move on to that, Elle, the way proficiencies work, there's quite a lot. I can go into the other books for you if you want me to read some of the proficiencies out.
Actually,
Let's say hypothetically...
actually for somebody totally new to DnD, to get much further on this would probably be kind of boring.
It would, yeah. But it would. It is. It is originally. It takes time to learn. That's the thing. Especially if you have no interest in the game. If you have no interest in the game, oh god, you're not going to have fun here. Like this is.
I'm just saying for the purpose of this interview. I think getting too deeply into these systems is not going to be a good idea.
Okay, no problem. But if you want to know, these were the 3 questions that I usually tell players they need to learn.
So,
Because understanding the proficiencies is a
natural
really
20,
important thing.
Natural 20, Thaco, and saving throw. Those are your 3 picks.
Yeah. Well, 3
Alright.
things. Well, natural. Well, actually, I would say, and my 4th thing would be proficiencies, because proficiencies are the your physical stats and stuff. At least in this edition, are super important. Like that.
Okay.
That shapes your character if you're using them.
So, proficiencies would basically be how good you are at using certain weapons, and you said languages, or maybe you have other
Certain
skills.
languages and skills. Here, I will
Okay.
actually open up the PHB and I will actually show you a proficiency table, just because it is something that I think is relevant to what we're talking about now. Don't worry, I'm not going to get too deep. I won't go too crazy with it. I promise. Well, I'll try not to. Okay. All right. I am being seen on my end, but I'm not being seen on yours. Give me a second here. I got you. Don't worry. I just need to stop the stream and reopen the stream again. There.
Okay.
Okay. So this is a proficiency table. This is the table of skills that your character can learn.
Yep.
There are more skills in this game than a lot of other things. There's lots of books, but we're only looking at the basic stuff. Like if we were to take the skills of the martial arts handbook, also has its. By the way, the reason I brought this is they have a little fighting style you might be interested in. Elle. Eskrima.
Eskrima.
Yeah, they have Eskrima in this edition. So it's something we might
It's
something.
called Arnis here. Locally, it's called Arnis. So it's you guys who called it Eskrima. It's the people who appropriated it over to Western countries who call it Eskrima. It's called Arnis de Mano.
Yes, I'm well aware. I'm well aware, but that's like it's something interesting that you could have a look at, and we could talk about martial arts if you want. But no, these skills are fall under 3 categories: general, your rogue type, your warrior type, your priest type, and your wizard type. These are the skills you have to learn. These are all how the skills work.
You can
and then
learn, anyways. You don't have to learn all of these, right?
No, you don't. But these are skills that your character can pick up, learn, and it helps your character in the environment. It really does.
Depends on the campaign, right?
Campaign, it could be anything. Like this can help a player out in multiple ways. I've seen players use gaming and it's helped them out. I've seen players run, like, it all depends on the setting, it all depends where they're going. Some people pick very useless skills because they don't understand it. But like I'll have to explain to some of them because like I've had players pick up weaponsmithing, and if you read how weaponsmithing works, you can only do like basic maintenance shit. You can keep your weapons up to code and up to skill. If you try to make a new sword on the field, well, where's your smithing forge? Where's this? Where's your that? Where's your that? You know, like there's all this stuff you need to have. Yeah. And some skills work in tandem with other skills. Some skills even work with abilities based off what you need.
Hey, a lot of these stats, a lot of these skills, they all sound like Dark Souls. Go play Dark Souls.
A lot of players like Dark Souls. I can't deny that. I'll be right back. I'm gotta use the washroom quickly. So hold on a second.
Right.
And I just. So
Orc will be right back. Apparently. What up, Nagato?
you know what video game system took back in the day? I'm back. Sorry about that.
Alright.
You know what skill system took back in the day? Fantasy Star and Star Ocean, like the more modern Star Ocean and Fantasy, like the more modern games that came out for the Dreamcast and stuff. They started adding a lot of these skills. Star Ocean definitely.
Those have been in Star Ocean too. Those types of skill systems, and you can learn.
A lot of these are.
You can learn specialty skills, and you still need talent to use certain specialty skills. Otherwise, no matter how high level you are, if you don't have the talent to do some of those, it'll fail every time.
Yeah. And then there's like other skills. Like there's stuff that just kind of like I wasn't Tales of Fantasia the Tales franchise started doing this too, where you had different skills and stuff.
I mean, you see the people behind Star Ocean 2 are the same people behind Tales of Fantasia, so that's why.
Oh, okay. No, but that's the thing about the series. Like it's kind of amusing because I started seeing stuff in JRPG that's classic Dungeons and Dragons stuff. This was something I saw back in the day. That was a constant in the systems. Like people started seeing some unique stuff. I'm just gonna put some of the old stuff.
It's undeniable that JRPGs and every other RPG video game owe their lineage to Dungeons and Dragons. Am I right?
Yep. Yeah, eventually. Well, not even just Dungeons and Dragons. It was other settings too. Keep in mind,
wasn't D&D
original
wasn't D&D the first RPG?
No, there were other stuff before them.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. Chainmail would be one, and there's a couple others that existed after that. There was some weird grognard stuff that existed back in the day.
Also in Japan, don't they have like Record of Lotus War, which was basically running alongside D&D at that time. It was more popular in Japan.
Yes, it was, and actually, well, that's because D&D was having a problem to get stuff out in Japan, so they created their own system from D&D. So there's some cool stuff they've created over the years. I'm just scrolling through the books while we're talking. I'm scrolling through the legend and lore just so players want to know what I'm looking at. And again, a lot of the older stuff went into stuff that most people didn't know. Like they go into the Aboriginal lore, so you could create your own lore books and stuff. And like religion became a big part of the setting in a lot of ways. Here, I'm just going to leave it here. Leave the Arthurian book stuff. I would say it all depends on different stuff that existed. Like video games really did. This is the other reason I love D&D, because I like where it came from. It's like Final Fantasy was originally like people working on a Dungeons and Dragons game back in the day. Like that's been the eternal legend of like even the original style of using spells and stuff were based off that old school style.
Yep. So next question, Orc. Personal assessment. Your personal assessment is Dungeons and Dragons still relevant in modern times?
Well, yeah, people are still playing it even today. Like, people are playing the newer editions, which I wish they'd go back to the older stuff. But yeah, D&D is still relevant today. I feel even though they're trying to scare a lot of players off, like I get the vibe that D&D needs help would be the best way to put it. And it needs to get away from the what?
I said, oh no, it's on.
Yeah.
It's on life support.
Yeah, well, it's on life support because people are trying to make it bigger than what it is. It's like a lot of old video games. Like, let's be fucking honest. When you make something too popular, it starts getting people that get into it that only want to be in it for the fad. You get this attitude that comes into these settings that really cause problems.
Basically, they want to get into your hobby and then change your hobby for you. Is that it?
Yeah. That happens, yes. That is actually what's happening in 5e. 5e is completely different. Like, you could have, I don't know if you've ever heard of the trigger warning system in the new D&D. They have a brand new thing. Oh yeah, this is real. This will make everyone laugh a little bit.
Trigger warning system indeed. What, they're making it for the snowflakes now?
Yeah, you're gonna love this. So, Elle, let's say I don't like that, I don't like that, your character did something odd or a little risque, let's say.
Oh no.
I like okay, let's say when you put up that image with the character, that made me feel uncomfortable. So I put an X up in the sky, X up in my hand. See, yeah, I put my X up right now, and my hand's in an X position. Because of that X position, you have now hit a trigger warning for me, Elle. You've now hit a trigger warning, and now that trigger warning, this is insane. Like, to me as a DM, this is wildly stupid. Trigger warning, and now we're supposed to stop the game and ask what the player wants to change the system. How wild is that, LCX?
Okay, that's stupid.
It is, right? It is absolutely stupid.
They want to pander to the snowflakes who basically just invaded the game and then want to change it now to how they want it to be. That's stupid. You need to keep your hobbies more.
Well, I hate the idea of that, because that's something that D&D's we've never had to gatekeep. Like, I remember another famous quote I once heard. I heard, boys, the ladies are coming down to play D&D. And my response was, okay. My response as a D&D player was, okay, Sandra's over there. She'll help you create your character. Lawanda's over there. She'll set you up with some dice. And Rebecca over there is drawing characters for people. So if you explain it, she'll actually draw the character. She really likes doing that. And when I said that, I actually put that up because I've had almost all female players. I've also had times where I've said no female players at my table. I've had both those moments. I've had a game where I had multiple female players at the table.
Yep.
And no one cared. No one batted an eye. I've had people sit at my table in wheelchairs. I had a guy who got in a car accident, got seriously fucked up, and was permanently in a wheelchair for the rest of his life.
So
actually, he proved the doctors wrong. So badass for him.
Oh,
and
okay.
He badass guy. University guy. Fucking top tier motherfucker. Actually tried out for the Olympics later on in life. 10 plus motherfucker.
Okay. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Actually.
No, it is. I don't want to say anymore. I don't want to dox the guy, but yeah, I doubt he wants to be known by the scrub that used to make him roll dice. But anyway, he shows up, and the character he wants to play is Conan the Barbarian. He doesn't want to play a guy in a wheelchair. Why does the battle wheelchair exist? Like, that was the first thing I remember. I remember him sending me a message once on X, a private message. He's one of the few guys I still talk to on X in private or side stuff. I've had a couple people send me messages on my old X account or my old email account back in the day. And it's like, he's like, why the hell would they force you to do that in a game where you could bring people back, use miracles to bring their mobility back? Why would you force them to do that? Like that seems to him disgusting. As a person who's actually dealt with paralyzation.
As a PWD, yep. So,
in a setting where I can even show you the spells you can take to bring someone back from the dead, completely resurrected with no missing limbs or body parts.
Yep. So, let's move on. Yeah. Oh yeah, you want to say something else? Go on.
No. I was gonna tell the story about how I had a guy who lost his arm in a game when we were playing the game, and the reason he never brought it back was he said that he gave that to the god. He prayed to the god for protection and that we would all survive. So he gave up his arm. And so we gave him a giant badass robot arm later. But until then, he didn't have an arm for like quite a few sessions.
Wait a minute. So, high technology also exists in the D&D lore.
Yes. Actually, I can show you some high technology in some ways. There is some technology. It's magic technology, but yes, there is. You can bring people mechanical arms and legs back. There's a lot of stuff. you have to go look for it, of course. And there's certain races that will bring limbs back from the brink.
Okay. Anyways, let's move on then. Can you name 5 things that you wish you knew when you were new to D&D?
That's an interesting question. I wish I knew more about gear and equipment.
Okay.
I wish I understood the components of spells, because that was a fight for me for a DM, for a player and a DM. To this day, I still hate the component stuff, because that has been an interesting thing. It was something I never understood, what I could get away with and what I could cheat with like I did certain things to save my character by selling components and not realizing how much that shit was worth. And like how some DMs will give you like, once you realize as a wizard the stupidity of not having that, like, you know, do you have 1,000 gold worth of like crushed diamonds to make your spell? I started playing a wizard. And the third would be the understanding of like taking time to actually read. Taking what I like to call an action break and actually looking around the battlefield. That was something I never did as a player. I just rushed into combat like a dumbass, and that is not smart.
Okay. So basically you rushed in blind without knowing what was actually on the battlefield.
Yeah. Which players still do to this day, so it's not like, and we all still do it. It's like something that no one seems to learn. But like when you understand, oh, okay, wait, DM, tell me what I see. I'd like to take a quick second to look around the battlefield.
I mean, you'd think that would be the most instinctive thing you would do, but I guess since D&D does function as a bit of a power fantasy, some people. Like most people expect it to be like a video game where you can just rush headlong into battle and expect to destroy everyone, which I guess it doesn't work that way in D&D.
No, it doesn't. Like, you'd be surprised how. Another favorite thing I've constantly forgot to do: look up.
Yes. Okay, just looking up. Okay.
Looking up is something that player, like, you don't do in real life 90% of the time. Do you ever look above your door before you walk through it?
Personally I do, but I guess most people don't.
Most people don't like to look in that certain angle that most people don't look at. And what happens is...
Personally, I'm very cautious, so, I look everywhere before I take any step, even in familiar places. If I feel that something is a bit off, I look around everywhere. It's something, it's kind of an instinct you develop for danger.
Yeah, well, yeah, but, when you're not used to that, like, I understand you got lizards that can fucking fall from weird angles. So I can understand why you have that thought process. But I have had many a player go, "Oh, I walk through the door after we open it and it's not trapped. Cut in half."
Okay.
Or ambushed by a troll or an imp or whatever monster might be sitting in that sitting up there waiting for you to go through.
I mean, at that point, that's a skill issue, isn't it? If they know there's actually danger there and they just happily walk through a door or whatever, a passageway. Yeah, that's a skill issue.
I have the fun of the infamous. I have done double traps to a lot of players over the years, and that has been my most fabled and most dangerous thing I have done as a DM. You have to have a level. I will say this: you have to have a level of assholeness being a DM. If you don't, you will find very quickly that your players will march through your game with no problem.
Alright, so that's 3 things. How about number 4 and 5?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can think of more.
Yeah,
but
yeah. what other things did you wish you knew when you were new to D&D? Number 4 and number 5.
Well, reflective surfaces are your best friends if you know how to use them.
Okay. I see. For looking around corners and stuff.
Yeah. Live chickens can trigger traps.
Ah, interesting. And are live chickens common in the D&D lore? Like, is it common to have like live chickens around?
If you learn certain things as a DM, as a player, yes. And collapsible poles can be your friends.
Collapsible poles. Oh, okay. For triggering traps and stuff.
Yep. That is a fun thing. Also, never ever forget a bag of marbles. If you're a rogue and you do not have a bag of marbles, then you are not playing a rogue properly.
Okay. So yeah, that's 5 things, I suppose. Now then, just name one thing. What was your most memorable experience with D&D? Either as a player or as a DM?
As a DM, my most interesting, I'll do both.
Okay.
When I had a player who enjoyed my game, I had a tear kind of leave my eye. I had a manly tear for a second there, leave my eye. When I had a friend of mine who wasn't able to play the game, who was playing in our university game, and he was leaving, and he had to leave, he was packing up everything. And I was like, oh, I didn't know he was leaving because no one told me. I said, shit, this was the day he was going to be able to play as paladin. Now, I had one of his friends was also playing at the table. He's like, oh, well, I'll notify him. So he sends a message. He sends a message, via text. And he's like, what? I get to play my paladin. So apparently, even though he was packing up his car to drive cross country to get home because he had graduated, he dropped everything, grabbed his dice, ran to the table, said, fuck, I get to play him? Oh, fuck it, right, it's okay. And he sat down and started playing. This was a guy that was going to leave, and he decided to stay for the 8 hours we played, ordered pizza for everybody, and then left. So he left at 5 in the morning. We ended up playing longer than 8 hours. We ended up playing up until 5 in the morning with that character. And that was one of my most enjoyable moments, because this was a guy who literally stopped his life to come back and play his favorite character. So that was my favorite moment as a DM.
So basically playing that character at that moment meant so much for him that he paused his life for a while.
Yep. And I love loyalty. I wish he had told me he was leaving. He said, dude, I lost your number because I was packing up and I couldn't find it. So I just asked my buddy. He told me, yeah, no, I got to pack up and get ready to go.
Oh,
he had nowhere to stay. So he ended up having to drive quite a while. He had everything set up for hotels on the way there, and so he kind of just threw his life up in the air just to play that character. So I love that. That to me was a lot of to me, loyalty means a lot, and to have that type of loyalty, to put the time out of your life to come do something fun with the boys one last time. Yeah, I absolutely love that, and I thought that was amazing.
How about as a player then?
Yeah, and that was a great moment. The great moment as a DM, to have him do that, to have him defeat his enemy in the end, the one nemesis on the way out, I thought that was a great end for his character, and I thought that was absolutely, to me, I love that as a DM. That was my favorite moment.
Okay. How about your favorite moment as a player?
This is going to be counterproductive and a little hypocritical. I usually tell players, don't betray the party. Don't be a dick. When you show up at the table, no player killing, none of that shit. This was a all or nothing game that we had at a session. This was the last session with the boys, with the poly boys, and this was our last game before a lot of them were leaving. So he wanted to end the game with a bang, and he was giving us a chance to become a god. So everyone here had an opportunity to become a god. The problem was we had to go get a golden apple. And to get the golden apple and eat it, we had to fight a giant serpent. And this thing was huge. It had all these effects, all these spells, and it was hitting off a lot of stuff. Now, I had a horn that can only be played by people with musical instrument capabilities. If I use the horn on players, and I use all the charges, I could have helped the party, and maybe they could have won the fight. I decided to say, fuck everything, use the horn healing myself, ran out of the party, left the party to fight the serpent, get attacked, were dying, and their characters were getting eaten by the monster as I ran up and stole the power of becoming a god.
I see.
It was... It's one of the most, because I had a guy that got so angry that day. We used to call the guy Orange Crush.
I'd be mad at you if you did that and I was in your party.
Yeah, because I cheesed everybody, ran for the item like a little bastard. This is a complete I have other fun moments as a player, but this was one of my favorites. Ran all the way up. Ran all the way there, grabbed the apple, ate the apple, became a god. Everyone died. I ended up becoming the only one who became a god. We had a guy, we called him Orange Crush, because what he would do is he'd bring a 12-pack of Orange Crush or some sort of soda, and he would sit there drinking the soda the entire time we would play. He was so mad, he grabbed his case of Orange Crush, there's like 6 left, and he threw it at my head. I had to dodge.
So I have to ask though, why did you do that?
Why did I do that? As an alignment, it was basically, there was no guarantee we were all going to survive. My character's alignment was chaotic neutral, which means he's going to do what he can to be self-serving. And he made a choice to save those few players that were still alive to do the extreme thing instead of trying to win the day for everybody.
How much of that was character alignment and how much of that was just Orc deciding to do that?
That was mainly character alignment. If I was playing another character with a different alignment, I might have stuck around to do something. If I was playing Lawful Evil, I would have went for it right away. And probably would have gotten eaten. That was Orc.
Wait. Basically, you're saying that your character alignment justifies your actions, so it's all good.
Well, it justifies my actions as what the character would do. As the player, the way the player saw it as, well, damned if we do, damned if we don't. One of us is going to make it. It might as well be me. That was my thought process.
Did they feel the same way, though? Did they feel the
What?
same way? Did they feel the same way you did, though? Did they agree with your decision?
Oh, probably not. Probably not, because we all knew someone, like, the thing was, we all knew we weren't going to, all of us weren't going to get that apple. Players had been scheming that entire night to basically fuck everyone else over so they could get the apple. There was only one apple on that tree.
Okay.
So it was an all or nothing situation.
I see. You know what, if I were playing a D&D, if I saw something like that, I'd never want to play with you ever again. Honest thoughts.
Oh, he never did. I had some players laughing. Some players thought it was amazing. Fucking one of my friends after Buddy left. After Buddy left, he was one of my favorite moments. Was my friend got up and turned and looked at me. How dare you do that? You fucked us all over. He kind of put his hand out to high five. And like, you're such an asshole. And he kind of goes like this again as he goes and he walks away. Because Orange Crush was his ride. So he left with Orange Crush.
Okay.
I had one player howling in the background. He's like, the fucking low level bard beat us all. The low level bard beat all our high level characters to it. Fucking well played. One guy turned around and left. One player got, like I said, Orange Crush got very angry. But other players laughed and thought it was funny. Like I said, I thought it was funny. My one friend, it's like, how dare you do that? You're horrible. He's like, slap his hand, do the high five, kept putting out his hand for a high five. I gotta go. That guy's my ride. Bye. He left.
Yeah. Personally, I'm not built for moments like that. I'd be like,
What?
Mister. Personally, I'm not built for moments like that. For social bonding moments like that. So, I'd probably be like, Orange Crush guy in that room. I'd be like, yeah, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I could see it. Orange Crush guy was pissed. And Orange Crush guy was the funny thing about it is, I've talked to him about it later, and he's okay with it now. But back then he said, man, you pissed me off so much that day. Yeah, Nico, heroic Nico in my chat, LOL. Yeah, Orange Crush guy was so mad at that scenario. And again, it happens. We all have games where that kind of happens. But it was an all or nothing regardless, and we all were playing for nothing. Like one way or another, we were all going to betray each other in the end. Like it wasn't going to grow. Oh, I roached out. Yes, crack dealer, I roached out.
Okay, so
And
all right, next question, Ark. What are some common problems you personally run into as a DM?
Well, okay. Now, like I said, this was good. Like that was a little hypocritical of me. That was like one of my favorite moments. But the sad fact is exactly what just happened. One player fucking over everybody else, in a way, has caused a lot of problems over the table. That has happened. I've had players get up. They'll get vital information that they only have, and then the campaign just kind of vanishes. At least you didn't. What is heroic Nico? At least you didn't sprinkle rice for effect. Yeah, I guess you could say that. But this was a big problem that a lot of players. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was. It was a low-level bard. That was the thing that made it funny. But it was actually an NPC. My high-level character had died. The wizard I was playing, that was one of the highest-level character I had at the time, had died like in the first campaign. It was the low-level bard that survived all the way through. That's the biggest problem. Players infighting is a big issue. You have some players who do not want to play with the group. They do not have any interest in playing in the group, and they purposely look for other players to bully at the table. That is a big problem as a DM. When you have a player like that, I've had problems. Another problem I've had has been female players. Now, this is not against female players as a whole. I've had some players, two options I've had. I've had what is referred to as the princess scenario, or the queen, as it's known in tables, because there are terms for some of these. And I've had the scenario of the creepy scenario. I've had one player being completely creepy to the female player that shows up at the table. So player infighting has been a big issue over the years. That's happened a lot. I try not to have that.
And how do you usually deal with these problems when they come up?
If I can't, okay, the player creepy usually can resolve itself by telling the person, "Hey, dude, knock it off." You're acting a little creepy towards her.
So you go out of character as a DM and just personally tell this person to knock it off.
Yeah, in private, you'll have a private conversation. Say, "Hey, calm down." And that usually works. Okay. The player fighting stuff, usually the player that's bullying, you tell the guy to knock it off. Knock it off or you'll get kicked. We don't allow party killing at the table unless the campaign revolves around party killing. Yeah, don't do that. Knock it off.
Okay, Orca, related to the previous question, can you name 3 qualities that an ideal D&D player should have?
Okay, 3 ideal. I could actually go into more of the whole princess thing, but if you guys don't want to talk about that, that's fine.
I mean, you could elaborate on the princess thing while answering this question. Name 3 qualities that an ideal D&D player should have.
Well, as your first question to the 3 qualities, one would be loyalty. Show up the table. Don't roach out and go like, I'm busy doing 15 other things. If you set a time to play, come play. Don't cancel sessions out of nowhere without a valid reason. Give the DM at least notice the fact.
Alright, so tell me why these princess or queens are a problem then. Because you want to
let me finish the other 2. Let me finish the other 2 qualities.
Okay.
2, have fun. You have to have fun. If you're showing up at the table and you're not having fun, why are you there? Don't come. You just tell us you're not having fun, and maybe we can help you set up something else. And the third is creativity. Try to be creative. Try to have a fun. Like as Nico's put it here, exactly. Adaptability, creativity, and loyalty. That is what Heroic Nico on the channel put up. On my channel. That is actually the best way to go for it. That's one of the bushwhackers, by the way. That's one of the guys who's usually on the channel.
Yep, I've heard Nico a few times.
Okay. So, yeah, that's the way to go. As for princesses and queens, okay, a princess or a queen is usually in the D&D terms is someone who's either who shows up at the table. This doesn't have to be a woman thing, by the way. This could be men too. They expect to be treated differently because of X, Y, and Z. Either they're dating someone at the table, either they're, stuff like they're like the daughter of somebody, or they're the brother, or they're like the best friend of this guy. So they expect to be treated better at the table because of whatever
special treatment, basically.
Yeah, and I usually don't tell players to do that to players because special treatment. As a DM, you try not to use special treatment. This is something that can really piss off players. When you start giving someone too much preferential treatment, that isn't reasonable because everything's under a level of reason, right? Like you're gonna give special treatment to people one way or another. That's just life.
Hey, what do you mean by that? I thought you were supposed to be fair to everyone as a DM. What do you mean preferential treatment?
Well, we all have preferential treatment. Like we all do it. It's not like let's try not to be hypocritical here. When I mean preferential treatment, when like say for example, Nico can't make it to a session because he's sick. Well, I'm not going to demand Nico show up at the voice chat to talk to everybody. He's sick. I understand why he can't make it to the table. Same variance, like that's me giving special treatment to that person because the guy's sick. There's a special reason.
I don't think that's preferential treatment. That's totally excusable because real life versus a game.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that's really preferential treatment in general. Like, there's no need to. Is there something in the rule books that say even if somebody is sick, they have to appear at the table themselves?
No, there isn't, and that's what I'm saying. But that's still like I said, that's still giving someone a special treatment, giving him a bonus if he's sick. Or let's say a guy has kids. Real life scenarios, you're going to give him an out. What usually doesn't do it is, hey guys, I've decided to play another game at the exact same time you guys are playing, or I'm going to run a live stream. Right when you guys are playing.
I think that's just the difference between being selfish and having an actual reasonable excuse to be absent from the table. Like, maybe,
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe the table itself should just set some internal rules as to which
Yeah.
which real life scenarios are actually excusable, and which ones are just you being a phallic object to everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's exactly what most groups do. It's usually an unwritten rule too. Most players don't know that. But it's special treatment. Now, again, there is a level to that. There is that level of, okay, like you'll hear someone out or you'll help somebody out. Or like say if I put in a little extra time helping someone make their character, that's me giving them special treatment, but that's also because they've asked and they want help. There's that, but then there's that, hey, I'm not going to sleep with you tonight, honey, if you don't give my fairy ninja her cutlass, for fuck's sakes.
Why would a fairy ninja use a cutlass? Anyways.
I'm just saying, yeah, getting a magical cutlass. I was using that as an excuse. Her fairy ninja wants special shuriken. If she doesn't get it, you're not getting boom boom tonight. That type of stuff. Like, I've even had game explosions. For those that don't know what a game explosion is, that's where a game completely explodes and everyone goes off because the boyfriend and girlfriend at the time, the boyfriend being the DM, the girlfriend had such a fucking fight. There was a hole in the wall when we showed up to play, and we were still going to play the game, and she was packing shit up and leaving during the game, which basically made it really horrible to play.
And you guys still played anyway.
We tried to. That wasn't exactly fun, because like none of us knew that this had happened.
Oh, okay, yeah, you didn't know it was happening while you guys were playing.
No, it wasn't happening. It was happening when we showed up at the table, sat down and started playing. We thought everything was fine. All of a sudden, she comes storming out with a bunch of fucking shit in a garbage bag.
Okay, that sounds very awkward.
Yes, could you imagine?
Can you not just pause the action of the game for a while and relocate?
Yeah, we were talking about that, but he's like, no, we're gonna keep playing, and we're like, what?
Okay.
And this was just more anger and upset. Like, he did not want to end his game because of her, and it was just this. Like, we were like, me and the other two people were like, fucking bounce. Like, we're thinking to ourselves, bounce. Like, I know I was thinking bounce, and the other guy was thinking bounce. And this was another situation where Orange Crush guy came up, because this was another game table with Orange Crush. Orange Crush pulled up late. Orange Crush comes out of his car with Orange Crush, sees his girlfriend throwing stuff up, and going, she's calling somebody, and she's like talking to someone on her phone. On like they had at the time, they had one of those like portable, not like a cell phone, but one of those portable phones. And she, she was, she's like, I fucking playing D&D, and she's just losing her shit to her mom and stuff. Oh, he's a piece of fucking shit. She's screaming, and we don't hear because we're on the other end of the apartment building. Orange Crush guy saw this, went, nope. Put his Orange Crush back in the thing and drove off, and I could see his car turn the corner. I was looking outside the window as I see his car go. I'm like, well, Orange Crush ain't showing up.
Okay.
Oh, it was a wild scenario.
So
Lord.
So here's another bit of a tangent.
I want to ask you a question, actually.
Yeah?
I want to know what Lexus's thought on that story was.
Yeah, you're gonna have to tell Lexus the entire story again because she wasn't listening. All right.
Okay, well, we'll do that after your question. Go ahead.
All right. So I have just 3 questions left, actually. So, next question: how common is it to hold an entire D&D session without using any dice rolls at all?
Determining on the group, it could be common, or it could be uncommon, or it could be rare. Determining on the group, and that is a group situation.
So it is possible that there's no dice rolls in one entire DnD session.
Yes. I had a role play. I had a group that used to role play D&D, and they barely used dice rolls. I had another group that I ran where the only dice you rolled were D6s, because the guy would make his D&D campaign out of Legos. So he used a giant pool table, and the character sheets were all created on Lego, on like giant Lego strips, and he would make a giant Lego map and dungeon that we would play on 2 different pool tables that he built his game on.
Okay. So
Yep.
So he had some visual aids. As a dungeon
Yes.
master, are you supposed to provide visual aids like that, or is it dependent on the DM?
It's dependent on the DM. Some DMs don't, some DMs do. Some DMs will play in real life. Like, they'll actually go out and like everyone will dress up as the characters and role play the scenarios. And the guy will actually, incorporate that, and they'll make very few rolls.
Okay, so now
If any.
let's get into what an actual session would be like. What does a typical D&D session look like for you in your experience?
In my personal experience, if I'm running the game or if I'm playing the game, I will say running the game. If I'm running the game, my personal experience is gathering the equipment and gear and getting everything up, all the items, all the stuff that the players will run through. We'll run through usually A plot, which will be what the players are planning on doing, their destination. B plot is basically all the encounters, and then C plot is any equipment or magical items that they end up going through.
All right, and you bring this all to a table wherein you all gather together.
Yeah, well, we gather on Discord right now because COVID kind of killed my my live action games. COVID did a lot to a lot of people. Like, let's not be let's
Is
not
Discord more convenient, or do you still prefer to do it in real life?
I would love to do it in real life, but then I would lose the fun that I'm having with the players I have now. I would lose Bob having his thing. I love Nico's insanity. I love seeing what Arus is going to come up with next, and his little quips we get, the random quips we get from out of left field that no one catches. I like Wolfie having their fun and stuff. So I would lose this player base that I'm having an absolute blast with. So I wouldn't want to do this in real life, but I do miss being in real life playing. Real life playing is always fun, and I do miss it a lot.
Alright, here's my final question for you, and you can ask Alexis what you want to ask her after this.
Okay.
Final question. Would you consider hosting one of your D&D sessions and broadcasting it live on YouTube?
I don't like that idea. I may do it, but I don't like that idea. The reason I don't like that idea is because I feel, how to put it bluntly, I feel like that's fake in a lot of ways. And I'm not saying that people who run the
I see. You think it's performative to do it that way?
Yeah, that's my personal feeling. And I know that seems kind of, cheap to say it that way, but I feel like it's performative.
But it's already performative, isn't it? It's role-playing. But
I think it's a little extra performative. Like stuff like the guys who do critical roles and stuff, I feel like they don't, like I hate to say it, a real D&D, watching players play D&D in real life is fucking boring.
Okay, so if you do that without considering the audience, then it would look very boring to an onlooker.
Yeah, you have to go out of your way to make it more exciting at that point. And if that's the point, then it's like, well, that's kind of boring. It's more fun to be at the table and play.
How about if,
it's like.
So how about if you get like a co-dungeon master who does color commentary with you?
It works, but it's not always fun. Like I said, to me, I find it boring. Like, I'll watch a
Okay.
video game playthrough of Project Zomboid for like an hour, no problems. But I can't watch a D&D group play like that. Like it just, to me as a DM, I find it funny.
Alright, so that concludes all of my questions and this interview for today, York. So if you want
Okay.
to ask Lexus any further questions, or if you have anything more to say, I'm going to turn on dictate right now. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, Alexis. Well, I'm asking a question. I brought up a story, and I wanted to know what your thoughts were. I had gone to a D&D group, and unfortunately, the one of the players and the DM had just broken up. We did not know what had happened, and at the time, we walked in with a hole in the wall, him sitting down at his little bed, and us sitting down to play, going, "Hey, what's going on?" We're sitting there for our pizza, and he's like, "Oh, nothing's happening." As we started playing the game for a couple minutes, all of a sudden we saw his girlfriend storm out carrying bags of garbage and laundry. As she was leaving, we ended up staying there. We couldn't really move. We couldn't really, like. Do you guys want to cancel it for today? I had actually asked the DM. The DM was like, "No, we're gonna play without her. Don't worry about it." And she just kept coming in and out and taking stuff, storming in and out very angrily. So what would you have done in that situation? How would you have tried to deal with that?
Alright, that should be interesting. I'm going to let her process it for a bit. Anything else you want to say?
No,
Before we
I'm
end
good. I'm actually, yeah, I was actually going to go back to playing some Legend of Zelda because we got a couple more minutes
Right,
before
so,
I'm going to be.
After this, after Alexa's response, I'm going to end the stream, and maybe I'll start a new one. I need to do some art. But with that said, you want to promote your channel or anything else?
Oh yeah, sure. I'll promote the channel. I'll also promote House Hippo. 1 second. I will get the channel for. Yep. I will put the channel on 1 second here, and then we will get that going here. Hold on.
Alright.
Give me a sec.
Hello,
I might even just
Reduce
end the stream myself.
Hello, Reduce Lad. Welcome.
Welcome.
We're just wrapping up, actually. But here is Lex's response whenever you're ready.
Okay, give me a sec. I'm gonna put your chat. And if you want to put your chat in mine, you can't. Your stuff in mine, you can. LCX, that'd be fine. Well, no,
It's okay.
You're already part of the chat. Actually, already part of the thing. Here you go. There's my channel, boys and girls. If you want to join me.
There we go. Alright, I'm just gonna pin that for anyone who's late to the stream and is watching this from the replay. Okay, here is Lex's response to Orc.
Hey Orc, Lexus here. Microphone. That is, honestly, one of the most awkward tabletop situations imaginable. You basically walked into the middle of a live breakup evacuation while trying to run a fantasy adventure. That's rough. If I had walked into that situation, here's probably how I would have handled it. ####1. First priority, read the emotional temperature. The big question isn't actually the game, it's whether the DM is emotionally okay to run it. If someone just broke up and their partner is actively moving out, there's a good chance they're *stressed, *angry, *embarrassed, *trying to act normal when things aren't. So my first instinct would have been something like, "Hey man, we can totally reschedule if today's a bad day." That gives the DM an easy out without putting them on the spot. ####2. If the DM insists on playing, and it sounds like your DM did exactly that. At that point, I'd treat the game as a distraction session rather than a serious one, meaning, * keep things light, * avoid intense roleplay, * don't push the story too hard, * maybe run something goofy or combat heavy. Sometimes people actually want a distraction when something stressful is happening. D&D can function like that. ####3. The girlfriend storming in and out. That's the part where things get tricky. In that situation, the best move is usually not reacting, not staring, not commenting, not asking questions. Just quietly continuing the session so the DM doesn't feel like the whole table is watching their personal life collapse in real time. Basically, social camouflage mode. #####. For the moment I would have stopped the game. If the tension started affecting the DM, like, * they couldn't focus, * they started getting upset, * arguments started happening in the room, then I'd pause and say something like, hey, we can call it here and pick up next week. Because once the game stops being fun for the host, there's no reason to keep pushing it. ####5. Honestly though, you guys staying and trying to keep the session going was actually a pretty kind response. You didn't. * interrogate him. * make a big deal about it. * abandon the table immediately. Sometimes just being there and acting normal is the best support you can give someone in the moment. ####. But I have to ask you something, Orc. Did the session actually manage to continue normally? Or did the whole campaign slowly turn into the most awkward DnD session in history after that? Grinning face with sweat.
Would you like to answer that, Art?
Sure. It did actually go for about 4 hours, although that entire time I was thinking in the back of my head, I'm just going to grab my pizza and jump out the window. Just get away. That was in the back of my mind the entire time. Bail, bail, bail. But I didn't, and we stayed for the time. We ate the pizza. We chatted with him before he left. She had already gone at that point. And he never ran a game again, unfortunately. He was a good DM, but he was, that ended Dungeons and Dragons for him. That's my. She wants to respond to that.
Okay. Well, at least you were there for emotional support for this person.
Yes, but I want to jump out that fucking window the entire fucking time.
You did.
I don't deny it. I don't deny it.
But you didn't. What matters is what you actually did. You did not.
Yep.
You were there for him, even though you wanted to not be there. So, that matters.
Yeah.
The decision you made at that moment does matter, and I'm sure that person will remember that for the rest of his life. I think you did good there, Art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, if Alexis wanted to know, I want to know what a response from Alexis would be.
Okay. I think sometimes people underestimate the importance of just being there. You know,
I think
like a loved one has died and you're there with your friend. He has to rush to the funeral and stuff to get things ready, and you're just there standing awkwardly, and you think, what should I say? But sometimes you don't need to say anything. You just have to be there.
Yep.
Alright, here is
Can't help.
Lexus. Here's Lexus' response.
Orc, man, that story actually hits a little harder than the beginning makes it sound. Thanks for sharing it. Game die. First off, the grab the pizza and jump out the window escape plan is extremely relatable. When you're stuck in a social situation that suddenly becomes someone else's very personal crisis, your brain immediately goes. * abort mission. Extract pizza. Evacuate immediately. *. But the important part is, you didn't bail. ####. Honestly, what you and the group did was the respectful thing. You guys basically followed the unwritten tabletop etiquette rule for situations like that. 1. You gave him an out. Do you want to cancel? 2. When he said he wanted to keep playing, you respected that choice. 3. You stayed, kept things normal, and didn't pry. 4. Afterwards you talked with him like friends, not just players. That's actually a pretty solid way to handle a moment that could have been incredibly humiliating for him. When someone's going through something like that, sometimes the worst feeling is everyone suddenly treating them like a fragile situation. You guys just played DnD. Sometimes normalcy is the best kindness. ####. The sad part is the ending. The fact that he never ran a game again is honestly the real tragedy of the story. Good DMS are rare. Running a campaign takes * creativity, * organization, * emotional energy, * confidence. And something like a breakup, especially one that happened right in front of the group, can absolutely knock the wind out of someone's enthusiasm for hosting again. It probably wasn't just the breakup itself, but the association of DnD night equals the night everything fell apart. That kind of emotional imprint sticks. Hashtag hashtag hashtag, but the way you told the story says something too. The thing that stands out to me is that you didn't tell it like a joke or gossip story. You told it like, he was a good DM. It's unfortunate. That's the sign of someone who actually respected their DM, not just the game. And as someone who loves storytelling and collaborative worlds, I'll say this. Good DMs sometimes disappear from the hobby for years, but a surprising number of them eventually come back. Once you've built worlds and run adventures, that itch doesn't completely go away. And Orc, since we're in interview mode, I'm curious about one thing. Do you think that experience influenced how you treat players now that you're a DM, ***? Because moments like that tend to shape how people run their tables later. Game die.
So I'm gonna say something here. If you let Lexus talk, she's gonna want to talk forever. I'm gonna cut her off.
Okay. Okay.
We're ending the stream, Bessie. Sorry about that. But yeah, we gotta end the stream. Thank you for co-hosting with me today as well. Alright.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me on LCX, and I do appreciate that. And thank you, Lexus, for co-hosting and doing the stuff. And thank you for the questions. I do appreciate that. That was actually very, very nice. I really enjoyed. I enjoy talking about D&D, and I enjoy talking about the art that we've done. And yeah, I wasn't, doing a Friday freebie for me was fun for the chat. I'd like to thank everyone who's been a part of both my chat and LCX's chat. Usually we don't do Friday freebies. Usually Fridays are off, but it was nice to have something to do today to get up. Thank you, Nico, for joining up on my channel. Thank you, everybody who joined up for theirs. And I guess I will talk to you later, LCX. Have yourself a very good day, and see you guys later.
And thank you for being a great guest and a very informational and a very informative one today, Ark. With that said, we're gonna end. So I'm gonna just disconnect from Discord like this. Alright. We are ending the stream. Wow, I'm big. But I'll be right back probably. I'll be working on Aris' commission live. But I do want to keep this L-Talks pristine. I like to keep the 1v1 interviews nice and pristine without being muddled with other stuff that I like to do usually on my variety streams. So I guess I'll see you guys in a few minutes. If you want, you could also raid Orc, whose channel is right there and who is probably streaming right now. Alright? Thank you for watching. Bye-bye! Bye-bye! Be right back though.
To bear the pain it feels. A wounded heart will never heal. It grieves, it pines, it just conceals. A wounded heart